you gotta have a vision of the future, you know, or you gotta have a sense of purpose to actually create something in your life, you know. And most people don't believe that they can create something in their life in the future. And I feel that with my personal experience in life, I feel like because I felt like I didn't have a future, and I felt like I used to go to school and I was like, felt like a fool, you know. Look, you know, I felt like, what's the use? You know what I mean? And what's the purpose? Getting a job and being an employer, working for somebody else, working for some big corporation who just takes everything out of you. Working for corporations who make them happy, but you're poor. You know what I mean? You're working so hard and this and that. You might make a fair bit of money. I mean, it's good if you make a fair bit of money. It's good, but it feels like you're just grinding and grinding and paying bills and bills and bills and bills, and you're just in that kind of survival mode. So I feel is that when you don't have a vision for the future and you don't take time to create that, you let other people come into your life and own you. They start to control you and they start to kind of take over your reality, your vision. But when you have a vision of yourself in the future, people cannot, in some sense, dominate you in some sense because you already are always creating. If you wake up in the morning and you certainly believe that you can actually create your life and you actually believe this middle metaphysical crap and all this stuff that you can shape your reality and you can create your reality into what you want, and you believe all that type of BS, which I do, I believe all that stuff, and if you believe that stuff, that can be true. um, I'm just crazy about all that stuff. Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love his books. I can watch a lot of that stuff over and over. A lot of self-help books. I'm just really, you know, crazy with all that stuff. I love all that stuff. All that spiritual crap. I love all that stuff. But anyway, if you don't have a vision for the future, you cannot create what you want in your life, and you're gonna let other people create it for you. You're gonna let all these other people create your life, and that's what's happened to me. And that's what happened to me when I was um that happened to me uh, when I was 20 years old. You know what I mean? When I did painting, decorating. I love hip hop. I could have been a good DJ. You know what I mean? I could have been a good DJ. I could have really, if could have been a really good DJ. And I love basketball. I was really crazy about basketball, but we had to get a job and we had to do all that stuff and we had to do all that stuff, which I tried, but kind of I got sick. I ended up suffering mental health issues because of all the stress and burnouts and abuse, mentally abused from the boss, and never been the same ever since then. Every time I try to work, I always have meltdowns and just chronic fatigue all the time, feeling tired, feeling miserable, depressed, and depression. Waking up in the morning, can't even wake up in the morning. Still happens now and then, but I count my blessings and I try to create a vision in my future. And when I do that, this magical stuff starts happening in life, which Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about. You know, these beautiful things in life start to work out, and you feel more happier, you feel more lighter, you feel just inspired. That's what it is. You get inspiration by the divine. The divine gives you inspiration. So when you create something in the future or create, you have a vision of the future of who you are. um you do it, even though if you don't feel like doing it, you have to do it, because a lot of times your brain and your mind will say, I can't be bothered doing this, and I can't be bothered doing these affirmations. But when you start doing those affirmations, or you start doing that work from within, or you create that vision in the future, it it I swear miracles start happening. I mean, I've been going through a lot of stuff and things start happening. I mean, I'm not always perfect, I just had a blue just recently before. I thought everything was so good, and then all this stuff came out of my mouth, and I was like talking, got angry and stuff. But then the divine gives me insight and tells me, that's the reason why you got angry. There's a reason why you got angry, and there's a reason why you got upset. You got to do more. You need more healing in yourself. You got to keep doing more healing. And so these are the things that happens. But when you don't have a vision about the future, when you don't have that vision of the future, you let other people control your life. You start working jobs you don't like. You start doing all this stuff you don't like. You feel maybe can be different for me, because I'm single and I'm alone, and I got all the time to do it. But other people have got families, and they've got families, and they have to provide and help. But I'm telling you, when you start doing this work and you start creating that vision in the future, things start to change around you. Because I start to realize that I find out that there are some of my friends that their life gets better, and there's other things that, like my family, things get better for them. And there's like sometimes you have a day where it's like, this day is awesome, or you have a next day and it turns out good. And then you get the challenges, because we get contrasts, we get all that. We get all those challenges, because all those challenges and all those hard stress times, they come to help us, in some sense. So, and that's where you got to keep on creating that vision, because the more times you have the love for life, and you create that love for life in yourself, and you take the time to create the love for life, um, you start to see magic in your life. And I'm talking about magic, how how reality starts to shape for you, and starts to help you, and things start working out. And I've got so much evidence of that, because it's happened to me in my life. I healing, so many positive things have been happening in my life. But because I keep on creating that vision, that's the reason why that happens. So if you don't create that vision of yourself in the future, eventually, you go through the stress, you go through the survival mode, you go through all that crap. But eventually, it does work, and it does help. So if you ever heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, check some of his stuff out. Dr. Joe Dispenza. There's so many other people who have helped me, like other, spiritual people who have helped me. I love all that spiritual crap. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like it, but a lot of people, as soon as you start talking about all that stuff, people just like turn their heads away, and they don't want to hear about all that. But I love all that stuff. I find that it has a lot of meaning, and then helps me, even though that I still go through a lot of challenges. But I also know that all those challenges and all that stress is there to actually help me to create a better life for myself and my family, and those friends around me, and to make a better world out there. So that's all I got to do. So create a vision for yourself in the future, and if you do that, you're not going to have the problem, having other people create the vision for you. So create the vision for yourself. Don't let other people create the vision for you. All right. Peace. Take care. And look after yourselves.